I'm honored to be here. Happy New Year to everybody. How many of you have already begun writing your goals and setting goals for the new year? Well, I'm going to help you go through the 6 key areas of your life today so that you can create a balanced and just very productive life and be able to achieve your goals. So it's going to be interesting to see how I do with the mic, because I also need to write. But you tell me if you can't hear me, and I'll try to shout a little bit louder for you. So whenever we're writing our goals, we want to ask ourselves some questions. First of all, where are we at? The truth of where we're at. We really need to be honest with ourselves and look at that. And then where do we want to go? And then why do we want to go there? The purpose of why you're going there is really important because it drives the goal. You can set goals all day long, like I want to lose weight or whatever, but it's the why that will drive you to that goal. And then we need to find out how are we going to get there, how are we going to plan it and take the action steps that we need, and who's going to hold us accountable to those goals? Who will we allow to speak into our lives? And then after you achieve your goals, what will you do with success after you've achieved your goal? Because it's very important to be able to give back so that you further continue that blessing in your life. Let's see, maybe I need to move this over just a little bit so I don't fall off the stairs. Okay, so we're going to begin right here with your relationship goals. So in this category, go ahead and write relationships. Remind yourself. And ask yourself, how are your relationships? What areas do you need to improve? How is your relationship with your husband? Do we have any single ladies here? Oh, no. we're jealous. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. We love our men. But how is your relationship with your husband? Truly, are you getting along? What is your goal? Is your goal a great marriage? Are you speaking kindly? Do the children drive you crazy and then you take it out on him? So really get truthful with yourself and find out where you're at. Do you need to improve some communication skills? How's your intimacy? Are you having romantic date nights and nights away with just you and your husband? So begin to look at that more and more with your relationship with your husband and what your goal is. And then we talked about the purpose, the why. So if you want a great marriage, the why in that is going to drive it even further. So, for example, you have children and you want to provide a safe environment, a stable environment. You want to have a legacy, something to leave behind. You want your children to grow up and then be able to have a stable marriage and a wonderful legacy to leave behind. So the why in that is going to drive it. Because sometimes on the days when you're not feeling so kind or feeling like being patient with your husband, you might forget that why and then kind of tear down your marriage on accident. So remember that whole big picture of why you want to keep a great marriage. And then look at your relationship with your children. How are your relationships with your kids? And are you taking time for each and every child to speak into their life, to bless them? Are you creating habits on a daily basis, things that you do that they'll remember, traditions, whether you read to them every single night and talk to them and bless them as they go to bed? So how are those things in your relationship? How are you speaking to your kids, your communication with them? Are you kind? Are you patient? And so some of those things. And as we work on our relationships here, our relationship with our husband and such, we want to create a vision. And really what that is, it's like your narrator. You have this narrator that goes on in your head and it talks to you. It's like whatever it says, whether it says, gosh, my husband loves me, things are really great, I'm really feeling very peaceful, and this narrator that speaks to you. Or does it say, my husband doesn't love me, he doesn't care, this and that. So we want to create a vision and words that will really lock in our narrator so we begin to think new thoughts. So one of the visions we would have here would be a great marriage. So I'll be doing a little bit of a meditation at the end, and I'm going to be using some of these words. So if you have some special words, shout them out to me and let me know, and I'll write them in here. So great marriage. We want to be patient, kind, right? taking time. So the tone of voice, your body language, all those certain things really matter. So then look at your relationship with the extended family. How is your relationship with your siblings, your friends? Ask yourself who you spend a lot of time with. Maybe you need to spend less time with certain people and more time with the people that are very important, your husband, your children. Maybe you need to spend time with a mentor, a good friend or a coach that will bring that positivity into your life so that you can achieve some of these things. Because we talked about who speaks into your life, who can help hold you accountable to some of these goals that you're going to achieve. So, and then if there's any relationships in your life that are draining you, that are causing you to not be emotionally well. And each and every one of these areas in our lives overlap. And so the more that we create good connecting relationships, the more that we're going to bless other areas in our lives. And so we'll talk about that. Are there any questions that anyone has about relationships? Not one. All of your relationships are going so good. Okay, maybe you need to be up here teaching me. No, that's good. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions, and you can always reach out to me too. I've left some contact information. So, and if there's any other words that we need to add in here. Some of them are feeling connected. I know sometimes you can feel like isolated and alone, and so maybe your narrator speaks to you and says, nobody cares. You know, I don't have any friends. So we want to change that. We want to change our narrator to feeling connected, to feeling loved, to feeling at peace, cherished. Thank you. Exactly. And you know, the interesting thing is that when you work with clients, everyone has their own special word that means something to them. I had a client that said one of the narrator words that she wanted in her life was to feel like she was the apple of her father's eye. Because she never felt that way, but that was her word. Maybe it's not a word that I would use, but each person has a word that really speaks to them. So if it's cherished or loved or adored or whatever the word is for you, put that down in your vision and begin to meditate on that, to change your mind to feeling like you are cherished and loved. Okay, and then we want to move over here into our physical health. Because sometimes if we just set one goal, like everything overlaps. So your physical is going to overlap with your relationships. If you're feeling really good physically, that's going to overlap into how you feel in your marriage and with your children. So how is your physical health? Are you feeling healthy? Are you feeling strong? Are you at the weight that you want to be at? Maybe you just need to lose 2 pounds, nobody in here. But I always like to work on those little bit of goals to keep things healthy, to keep myself healthy and fit. Are you getting outside each and every day and maybe going for a walk, taking the children for a walk? And what does that look like for you? How will you plan it? Is there things that in your life that you need to take out of your life so that you can have more time to go for a walk or go get some exercise? Maybe you're spending too much time on some things and not enough time on your physical health. And then, you know, just knowing your resources. Do you need to go to the doctor? What do you need to do to really be physically healthy and physically fit? Are there any questions about physical fitness?
Can you seriously hypnotize?
It is, again, your narrator. No, but that's a great question because, you know, let me just explain something too about hypnosis. All hypnosis is really self-hypnosis. In other words, it's what you're saying to yourself that is going to hypnotize you into what you will become. Our motto for our business is change your mind, change your life. So it's how you're speaking to yourself that you're going to have the fruits that exhibit those things in your life. If you're saying to yourself, I am so fat, then your narrator is going to say that to you, and you're going to begin to achieve what you're saying, because self really wants to be right. If instead you're saying to yourself, you are so beautiful, I just love you, and take time for yourself and really mean it so that you begin to change that narration so that as you're driving down, you're like, you know, I feel so strong today. I feel healthy today. I feel rested today. Are you getting enough rest? Taking that time that you need for your physical self. So your narration is extremely important in how you speak to yourself each and every day. Yeah.
I have a question. Can you speak? I heard that for many goals, but especially in regards to physical goals, fitness, and what have you, that the importance of having an accountability partner. Can you speak on that?
Absolutely. Every single one of the areas that you have, it's really important to have accountability person in your life. Absolutely. So with physical fitness, it's like, hey, can you check on me once a week? Because once a week, weeks really go by very fast. And they can also go very slow too, right? Sometimes you're just like, wow, is this day almost over, right? But having somebody who can speak into your life and say, how are you doing physically? Are you taking care of yourself? How are you doing with your goals? And again, with physical too, it's like getting to that planning. How will you lose those 2 pounds you want to lose? Are you going to go on an extreme diet and eat just 1 chicken breast a day, right? Because that's going to overlap into other things. You're going to be very impatient with your children and things like that. So we want to make sure that our goals are realistic, that people can speak into our lives about the goals that we want to have, and have somebody hold us accountable, absolutely, and then get a walking partner or someone that can be there. And then especially, that's what we talked about with relationships, having a positive person in your life, because you want someone coming in there going, you know what, you are beautiful. Maybe you didn't hear that in your life as you were growing up. Maybe there's something in here that's wounded and you didn't hear that. And so your narrator says those things to you that are not true about you. Because I'm looking out, each and every one of you are so beautiful, such beautiful women. And so I hope each and every one of you can speak to yourself kindly and be kind to yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Love yourself, because, you know, God certainly loves you. He wants you to remember that you are beautiful, that you are cherished. So down here again for our vision on physical, we want to say, what? Healthy, strong, energized, are some words that you want to say to yourself. You know, you get up in the morning and you say to yourself, oh, I'm so tired, right? You're going to feel more tired. And it's okay. I mean, certainly we have certain feelings, but even in those days, get up and say, you know what, I feel great. This is going to be a great day. You know, I am healthy. I am strong. And so begin to anchor some of those positive thoughts into your life. Any other questions about physical fitness? All right, so moving on, we're going to go into the emotional health now. So how is your emotional health? Do you feel happy each and every day? Do you feel joyful? Do you feel patient and kind? So do you feel content where you're at? Different questions to ask yourself. Are you experiencing any form of depression in your life? And what can you do, what can you plan out to make changes in your life so that you do get the joy in your life that you are intended to have? So, and again, we have areas that are overlapping. So if there's a relationship in your life that's causing you depression, causing you to feel negative thoughts, so begin to ask yourself, your physical can overlap into the emotional. If you're not getting outside every day and you're not getting the sunshine that you need and going for walks and taking care of yourself physically, and your diet can overlap into your emotional health. So all of those things matter. Also with the emotional health, we can, our physiology, how we carry ourselves, how we feel, how we talk about ourselves, environment, all of those things matter. So that motto, change your mind, change your life, really does affect you. So emotionally, if you're getting up every day and you're saying to yourself, oh, I'm so tired, so sick of this, I'm so tired of this, and you know, if only I could do this, then emotionally you're not going to be feeling as content and as peaceful and joyful as you should be. So that's where we would come in with your narrator and changing your narrator to feel like, I am so blessed. I am so grateful for these beautiful children in my life. I am so grateful for a good husband in my life. I am so grateful for this beautiful place I get to live in. So gratitude is one of the biggest things that will affect your emotional health. The more that you walk in gratitude, the more that you will be able to feel blessed and happy and joyful each and every day. So any questions about our emotional health? No? Oh gosh, room full of just awesome, emotionally healthy people. Okay, so emotional. So we want to feel happy, content, peaceful, energized, rested, right? On and on, all the things that you want to feel. So you begin to say those things to yourself. I am happy, I am full of joy. And then we're going to move into our financial health. So how are you doing financially? Are you a good steward over your money? Are you spending too much?
Amazon.
What'd you say?
Amazon.
Oh, yeah. Those darn that just clicked. It happened. It was an accident, honey, right? Yeah, so, and so you ask yourself, am I spending too much money? And what are my goals, right? So what are your goals? Maybe you have these wonderful goals of traveling or retirement or certain goals that you have, and then begin to ask yourself the why in the goal. What's the purpose behind that? Why do I want to save money? Why do I want to have money for retirement, right? And so hopefully it's your goal to be able to be financially free and not burdened by heavy bills and things where you're in debt, because the more free you are, what is that going to affect? That's going to affect your emotional life. It's going to affect your relationship life, and on and on. So your financial freedom is really important for you. And I'll tell you, you can be financially bound and have a lot of money. It's because of how you spend and how you steward your money. And I've seen people that have very little money that actually steward their money really well, and they're free because they live within their means. I know for me, I do the 10% charity, 10% saving, and 80% spending. So that's what I use in my life. So ask yourself, what sort of plan do you want to use in your life so that you can be financially free? Any questions on finances or your financial health? And so down here again, then we would add some keywords like, being free, being a good steward over your money, successful. Being successful is a good thing. It's a blessing. We want to be successful in our goals. We want to be successful financially and be able to bless other people. We want to be able to be generous with our income. So it's all a matter of stewardship and how you handle that. Okay? And then we're going to move over here to career. And ask yourself, are you content? Are you happy with what you do? What are your passions? What are your talents and your gifts? Do you make enough money in your career? Do you want to make more money? Is there something that you can do on the side as being a mom? I know my daughter sells rodent and fields, and she's able to do that when her kids are sleeping and be able to do that on the side and make extra income, and so that makes her happy. So I know there's a lot of other things that you can do while you're a stay-at-home mom, and maybe some of you are working moms as well. So ask yourself those questions. Do you want to minister to other people? Do you want to be able to be mentoring or coaching? I hope you say yes, because YKI coaching can sure use some additional coaches, and it's an absolutely wonderful, wonderful ministry. I thoroughly enjoy helping other people achieve their goals and walking with them and seeing them achieve their success, and it's just been a tremendous blessing to me in my life. Are there any career goals or career questions that people have? No?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
What would you think are the main obstacles to achieving goals in your career? Things that you see have been common fears or roadblocks that prevent people from getting to them.
So her question is that what are some of the roadblocks that get in the way for anybody? Okay, so for anybody to achieve the careers and the things that they want. I would say the biggest roadblock that I see people have is fear. Fear of the unknown, of change. Change is very hard for most people. And so the other thing would be confidence, not feeling like they have what it takes to do what they really could be doing, right? So confidence, a lot of that has to do with this right here, our narrator and our vision. And so many times people aren't all the way well because of something that might have happened in their youth. Somebody might have said a certain word to them or told them that they were stupid or that they were unworthy or some word that got into their mind, and they held on to that lie. And so that became their norm for them. Like they would never be good enough. They would never have a blessed life because that was just not in the cards for them. So their belief is the number one thing that causes failure. I have a particular client that I work with that his belief is he will never be successful, never. And so because that is his belief, that has been the biggest obstacle for him. So it's our narrator, the way we speak to ourselves, and what we believe about ourselves. So I can never overemphasize enough, be kind to yourself, be good to yourself, say kind things to yourself. Even if it was something that was not said to you during your life, begin to say it over yourself and proclaim it and want that good in your life. Okay? So any other questions about career?
I do.
Yeah, no, I love it. Thank you.
You mentioned talent, an assessment of talents and what are your passions and so forth. So is there something, a quick list to go by in assessing your own talent and skill in a, what is the word I'm looking, a realistic way? You know, where you're not neither depreciating yourself or over-confident.
Oh, so her question is there a realistic way to evaluate yourself and your passions to see if it's realistic for you? So, I mean, people are a definite one. There are many tests that you can take online, but that's not going to be as realistic, I don't think, as a person. For example, if I start singing for all of you, you'll quickly tell me that's not your talent, Levon. You might like it, but it's not your talent, okay? So, and generally speaking, God has really placed within you passions that He knows you will achieve. So, although I love to sing, and I do so more in my car so that nobody can hear me, but I know. And you know, that's one of the things our business is YKI, is because we believe as coaches that you know it. You know the answer. You really do. And so it's really within yourself. You know what your talents are and your strengths are. It's really a matter of exploring them and asking yourself the questions. You know, for me, coaching, and I really personally believe that every single person can be a coach, whether they do it professionally or whether they just do it within their own sphere of influence, because we all communicate. We all want to speak into people's lives and be able to help them. And the way that we want to speak into their lives is to edify them, to bless them, and encourage them. And so there's many ways, and with training you get all of that kind of information about communication and the way that you can help other people. And a lot of it is just through questions, because we want to empower the individual, because we believe they know the answer. So I would know that I couldn't be a brain surgeon. First of all, it's not my desire. I can't stand blood and probably pass out, and they would never, ever have the surgery. So you really do know it internally about what it is in your life. But definitely getting feedback and having an accountability partner that can speak into your life is the most helpful thing. Yeah. Okay, so with career, in here, some of the key words would be being content, because we want to be content. We want to be able to bless other people. And so that's the other thing, is in your questions with your goals is asking yourself, what is the reason I want to do what I do? Because it's the why that's going to drive that, right, for your career. Yes?
One question. Is there a way or something you suggest telling your children now, like when they're young, to kind of shape the way that they speak to themselves in their minds? Like
Great question. I just love your heart. Great question. So her question is there a way to speak into your children's life that you can help them to gain the narrator that is healthy for them so that they can live a successful life. And absolutely, you are a brilliant woman, because that is the most important thing you can do right now for your young children, is to speak blessings into their life, whether it's true or not true. And that's one of the things I always help my clients to understand. Okay, so maybe right now it might not be true that they're really super confident. Maybe they're a little nervous, right? But as we begin to speak into their life that they are confident, that they are beautiful, that they are so treasured, right? They gain that which you speak into their life. So with your young children right now, it's super important that you bless them and tell them, you are so smart. You are so capable. Guess what? It's in your mind. And set them up for success, you know. Hey, tell me, how would you answer this? Something that you know that they could answer in a positive way. And then, oh, see, you're so smart, right? And so you're setting them up for success as you continue to bless them with the things. Certainly, there are things that we hold our children accountable, like, you know, oh, was that really being the kind of person that you want to be, right? And kind of just helping them to explore. No, I know that you speak kindly. I know that you're a really kind boy. You're a really kind girl. And so as you believe in them and as you speak it into their lives, I do this with my kids all the time. My young son, I have a 17-year-old son that's home still, and I love to speak into his life, and I can see the areas that he's not feeling so confident in, and that is part of being a really skilled listener. You can see that they're not feeling so confident. Say, you know what? I know you. You are confident. You are really a spectacular person. Like, you are amazing. You are creative. I believe in you. You can do it. Everybody needs that cheerleader in their life. Thank you. Awesome question.
I have a question to bounce off that, and I don't really know what the answer is, but I also worry sometimes that entitlement comes from like saying something that maybe they maybe not have that skill, but you say they have it. And so I'm just curious, like, where's the balance of
Good question.
speaking truth to, and then creating a false sense of reality for them? Like, I'm a working mom, and I noticed that a lot of millennials like have this entitlement mentality that they deserve everything. Like, so yeah, instantly.
I love that. Great question. Okay, so her question basically is, how do I balance this speaking life into my child and speaking blessings into my child without creating this spoiled, entitled person? And my answer to that is to teach them compassion and empathy and love. The more that we act out of love and empathy, the more that your child is not going to be so entitled for self. There is nothing wrong with being confident, because confident people bless other people. So if we are teaching blessing and empathy and love at the same time, you're going to create that balance, right? So there's nothing wrong with consequences, and there's certainly nothing wrong with, I hate to use that word punishment, but the consequences of their action, whatever you have instilled in them, that, you know, if you are unkind to this person, you're going to bed earlier, whatever consequences you have given for this child. But the more that you instill that they are loving, they are kind, they are compassionate and empathetic, the more that you instill that with them, they will gain this ability to see out of other people's eyes so that they can see less of self and more of others. Any other questions? Okay. All right, so moving on to spirituality. Okay, so then ask yourself, what are my spiritual habits? What do I do every day that helps to connect me with my Maker and helps me to bless other people? And how is my spirituality affecting other people? And what does my spirituality mean for me for the rest of my life? What's the big picture? What's the why in that? What's the purpose of your spirituality? Is your purpose in your spirituality just to take care of self? Or is it to bless other people? It's certainly easier to be a monk on a mountain than it is to be a mom with a bunch of kids, huh? So, right? So our spirituality really needs to be able to work through us for other people, right? So is there any questions that I have about spirituality that anyone has? Habits, routines, things that they can do. I gave you some of them already. You know, our spirituality really goes through each and every area. Whatever is good is of God and what we want in our life, right? So that is how we can begin to develop some spiritual habits, saying kind things about ourselves, saying kind things about other people. And so there is a vast way of really bringing spirituality in our life. And of course, your spirituality is going to overlap into each and every one of these areas. Your spirituality is going to affect your emotional health, your physical health, your relationships, career, all of it is going to be affected by that. Okay, so moving on. Then we want to talk about our core, our center. What is your center? For me, my center is Jesus Christ. Before I knew the Lord, my life was a mess. And, you know, God really helped me in each and every area of my life. He has something to say about each and every one of these areas. He's a good God, and he wants to bless these areas if we will listen to him and allow him to speak through us and into our lives and into the lives of other people. So if you don't know much about God or Heavenly Father and all of this Christian talk that maybe some people speak about, come and talk to me afterwards or message me, email me. I'm happy to share it with you personally so that you can come to know what that is like for you and what that means to you. So is there any other questions about any of this before I offer you a brief meditation? No other questions? Okay. Well, I understand we didn't have music, so I guess I could just turn my iPhone on and see if we can hear it from speaker and see if that works for us today. I haven't turned up loud, so we'll see how we do. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so just take some time to just relax. I invite you to close your eyes if you like and to just relax. I know each and every one of you here today can use a little bit of that. So just allow yourself to breathe in deeply, inhaling and exhaling. And as you breathe in deeply, relaxing your abdomen and releasing each and every relationship, just surrender. Breathing in deeply into your lungs, expanding your lungs, expanding your life, and exhaling. And as you breathe in deeply into your mind, you are filled with love, compassion, and all of your relationships are filled with this love. You speak kind words. You are loving, kind. You are a great mom, full of patience, connected with others, visualizing yourself walking along the beach, the sun on your back. You are strong, healthy, and full of energy. You feel content, peaceful, and full of joy. So grateful for your beautiful family. You are successful in all that you do. You are blessed, and you bless others with your generosity. You enjoy what you do each and every day, and consider being a mother your most important work. Your children are blessed because of you. Each day you spend time alone to meditate on all that you are grateful for. You are filled with purpose and passion for life, grounded, centered, and at peace. Breathing in deeply, inhaling and exhaling, you are refreshed, restored, and ready for your day. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you, ladies. It was a pleasure to be with you here today. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm sorry.
Can I come up and share our work together?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Rachel.
Is anyone awake after that?
I know, that's why I wanted to leave you with refreshed and restored. Here you are, energized.
So I've worked with Lavon. I gave her our information to come speak. And I just want to say that this stuff really helps and really works. As you guys know, I'm a therapist, but I was a hot mess last year, and so I took a year off. Between the postpartum depression, the anxiety, 3 children, I just got knocked on my knees. And I really believe and sought out some sort of brain chemistry changes, or just some help with that narrative mind. So I worked with Lavon a couple times, and you guys, like 3-4 sessions, and it works. So we really sat together and identified all my negative narrative talk, and then she helped me come up with my, what'd you call these again?
Just a positive narration.
Yes, and like which ones really spoke to me, like the cherished word that I shouted out. And it really, really helps. And then she lets you do that meditation, and she uses your words, and she lets you record it on your phone. So you can see how relaxing that was. So some nights when my anxiety was high and I couldn't sleep, I'd like play Lavon's voice and like play in bed. Like fall asleep to Lavon. But I really felt it working, especially times where like I was at home at night with my husband and he's like on his phone and I'm like, he doesn't pay attention to me, like we're not connected, like he doesn't even love me, like blah, 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 blah. I would hear Lavon's voice being like, I am loved, I'm in a great marriage. But it works because it literally like calms your anxiety, it increases some peace and hope, and I would go into that interaction with him in that moment with a much more positive vibe and mindset. And that would really change the dynamic of that evening. Or the times when my kids were driving me crazy, and in my head I'm thinking like, I'm so pissed off right now, like I just want some time to myself. I could hear, again, Lavon's voice come in saying like, I am a joyful mother. And you're like, I am a joyful mother. I bring a smile to my children's faces. But those were 2 that you said to me that really clicked in that meditation, and I would be like, I need to bring a smile to my children's faces right now. Like I need to be that joyful mother to them. And I would kind of calm myself, switch that, and act differently. So I think it really, really helps. So I just wanted to give a little personal thought. If anyone's interested in this kind of concept, it literally only took a couple sessions, recorded the meditations on my phone so I could listen to them, and it really, really helps. And the cool part too is even though you pay out of pocket, she's a nonprofit, so it's tax deductible. Anyway, I just wanted to share that because you were very helpful to me.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you, and I'm so grateful again for the opportunity to be here and just to be amongst you lovely ladies. You're in such a beautiful, beautiful season of your life and raising your young children, but just because it's beautiful, it's not easy, but it goes fast. I have grandkids now. My kids are almost all grown, and now I look at those little pictures and I think, oh gosh, how fun to go back for just today and be with that little child again. So enjoy each and every moment. Love you all. Have a great day. Thank you.